guys, this is Actor Team Covenant. I'm here with Robert, and we are here with two very special guests. We have Jason and Steve from Fantasy Flight Games. Tell us your titles and really what that means.
I'm Jason Beaudoin. I'm the senior media producer for Fantasy Flight Games. In this particular context, I'm the guy that did the 3D modeling work on the Tantive and the Transport. So I built models that they injected into plastic and made into the cool ships behind us.
I'm Steve Kimball. I am the producer for X-Wing. So pretty much I've been from the get-go with Jay Little right at the beginning up to this point, and it's the whole development process. It's working with Jason to sit down and make sure we've got the ship right. It's working with the licensor to make sure we've got every I dotted and T crossed and colors right. And then, testing and development, everything.
Awesome.
It pretty much involves
a huge Star Wars fan. So he's got the knowledge. Like, what is this? Well, actually, this is this. I'm like, whoa, my hair is blown back with the knowledge he just dropped on me. I'm like, okay, more than I needed, but thank you. Now I know the full story as to what this piece does and why, and where in the story that came from, who flew the ship when, and what that meant. It's great because I don't know a lot of the really deep lore. I've watched Star Wars at the drive-in when I was like 3, so I've been a fan for a long time. But once we start getting out of the really iconic, traditional main 3 Star Wars, it gets harder and harder for me to understand what's going on. And Steve's
I jump in and educate.
That's excellent. I have so many questions to ask you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you talk to us about the process that you guys go through in order to create any X-Wing ship, but particularly these new larger ships?
Yeah, absolutely. I take a wand out, put my wizard hat on, and I twirl the wand, and I touch it, and the ship is done and it's ready.
Exactly what I pictured.
It is. It's great. It's tiring work, though. It's a heavy wand.
A heavy wand.
I think we usually start.
Good answer, Jason.
We start with like reference material, right? Like determining what ships we're going to do, finding good pictures and images, working with LFL, Lucasfilm licensing to get proper artwork and to make sure we've got definitive sources versus, because there's always various ships.
Especially for the Tantive, right? They made so many different models of that ship. They actually used one for the film. So we had all these reference images like, wait a minute, that one's a little different. It's got guns on the sides. It's got something different with the head. Right, so we had to make sure we had the right one.
So this model is specifically designed after the Tantive.
This is the one you see in the first film, cruising in front of the Star Destroyer.
Nice.
The first ship you really see, right?
Yes, yes.
So one day you're sitting at your desk and someone says, hey, we're going to do this ship, right? From start to finish, how long does this process take you? Like, that's a beautiful model and so much detail.
Thank you. It actually varies quite a bit. So like the smaller ships usually go faster, obviously.
Sure.
I actually think I spent longer on the Millennium Falcon than I did the Tantive.
Wow.
Because the Tantive has a lot of ropes, though, well, that too, but you look at like just the amount of details on the Falcon, and it's a super iconic ship, and it's going to be really critically looked over. Right. So that one had a lot more detail. Whereas the Tantive, I started the Tantive after I finished the Falcon, so this has kind of been in the works in the background for me for a long time. And it's keep my mouth shut about it. It's kind of hard at times, but this one was faster.
That's
and
awesome.
As far as time goes, we're probably looking at
2 weeks. Just kidding.
50 hours, 60 hours, somewhere around there for a bigger ship like that.
The other thing about the process you got to understand, we got to do basic shapes first, because if we have something wrong up front and we do all the detail work, you waste hours of time.
It's bad news.
Oh, wow. So what we first do is, okay, here's the basic. Let's get that hammerhead thing figured out. Let's get all these little details. And this ship too, it's not just mirrored. It's not like he just does left side and says flip and to the right side. This ship actually has the door on the underside. There's a weird cross cut.
Cool.
So he couldn't just say, well, half of it's done, we're good. Right? So we got the basic shape done. We submit that to LFL. They get back to us, make sure we got our stuff in order. Then the detailing starts, and the panel cuts, and the depth, and he's got to measure, make sure it's deep enough, so the wash takes, right? And the separation.
That's awesome.
That's always the balance of it's got to be made in plastic, so I've got to be cognizant of they need to manufacture this.
Wow.
And so we want to give people all the detail and all the cool things, but sometimes you're walking that fine line of, is it going to show up in plastic, or is it going to cost hundreds of dollars for a new mold tool for that one small piece that sticks out? And well, we've got to do it. We've got to do this many molds because we need to have the pieces done as good as we possibly can within the realm of reality. We talk about scale on these things, right? And we have these big ships, and you say, well, actually, at 1/270th, this ship should be a lot bigger than it is. Right, great. What if we want to do more big ships? What happens when you want a Superstar Destroyer?
Right.
Honk, honk.
Yeah.
You're driving it in, so literally, there's a lot of things you have to think about, and that's, we would love to give you everything at scale. Oh, everyone walking, that'd be awesome, that'd be great. Like, who can afford that? We all turn to Chris goes, I can. Like, the rest of us can't. can I play with yours, boss?
Yeah.
So we had to, kind of balance things, find concessions that we could make, and bring it to the table. Now players can actually have it.
And you guys were talking about that in the in-flight review about the scale issue. Was that more of an art or a science when it was coming down to like finally settling with the scale that you went with for these ships?
Well, we got to consider the gameplay, especially. We all love how they look.
Right.
But if it doesn't function in the game, what is it? A set piece. And we wanted to make sure that it was something that players would really be able to use in the game.
Nice.
Right? And so that was the first consideration. How's it going to work? We have a piece of cardboard spanning the bases. How many bases? Where are they going to go? All of that's going to affect. Where are the guns? Where are firing arcs? And all these things were taken into consideration. And then we go, okay, well now what size does it need to be?
That's awesome.
So,
a little bit of behind the scenes. Christian's like a kid in a candy store, so he comes in, he's like, I want this ship, let's do it. We're like, oh, that's exciting, yeah, we'll do this, and we're exciting, and then he leaves, and Steve and I turn to each other, and Steve's gone white, because he has to figure out how we're going to make that fit, how that's going to be, how we can produce it, how we can make it so people can afford it, so it'll fit on their table so they can play with it, and so it'll work in the game, and it will be the same level of fun and excitement and quality that I think X-Wing brings. So that's his job, and I'm like, I'm glad I don't have your job, buddy.
sweat and beads.
I'll get the plastic, it'll be awesome, we'll be done, and good luck with the rest of it. Let me know if I can answer any questions, I'll do what I can to help you, because I like problem solving, be involved, but mostly it's get together with your designers and make it happen. And so far it's going awesome.
So far it's great.
Kudos.
So, I mean, you've done quite a few ships now. We're on to wave 3.
More than you know.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to ask leading questions, but I'm going to play nice.
You can ask, you're going to get a lot of this.
Good question.
Correct. Well, I'm warning you, they are happening now. They're going to happen in the future of this video, and we'll see if you catch them or not. What's been the hardest ship you've done so far? Like, just difficulty in making it. You kind of mentioned the Falcon, but was it the Falcon? And
I think it was the Falcon, because I've been doing 3D for the videos for a while, so I've got some experience with that. But SolidWorks, what we use to create these, is a whole different modeling platform, and dealing with plastic and there's undercuts and all kinds of strange parameters you have to deal with. It's all brand new, and basically we were working with another group to actually do the models, and it just the time it took to get them dialed in because of licensor approval and back and forth and doing minute changes to really make it the right ship. Because, like, I might look at a ship and go, looks fine to me. And Steve comes in and goes, what is this? That is totally wrong. And it's like, can you adjust that, make it proper? And I could. And so Christian's like,
on the spot.
Why don't you start making the ships? Well, these things are taking too long. And I'd always dreamed of doing something like the Falcon. And they're like, yeah, you should do the Falcon. And once again, my hair was blown back. And I'm like, no pressure. It's not one of the most iconic ship of all Star Wars, and that was my first one. And so I'm learning how to use the software. I'm learning how to deal with plastic. I'm online reading feverishly about plastic injection and things like that. And so it was the hardest. And I'm thrilled. I think it came out fantastic. I learned a lot, and I've gotten way faster. And now it's kind of like a job. Like then it was like, now it's kind of like, yeah, I'm making cool ships, you know.
Ain't no thing, right? Whatever.
I've gotten used to it. I mean, it's like, what, 2 years? A year and a half. I've been working on these. And it seems like just yesterday I started, but I feel much more confident in working on them now, and it's just like, it's a different world. It's a job now.
It is.
It's a job. Before it was sweat and bullets, getting it done and hoping it was going to work, and hoping the fans wouldn't all look at it and go, actually, that engine is the wrong thing for that piece. Midway through, so we're looking at the various artwork we had reference, and we're looking at it, and I'm like, wait a second, these references don't match. There's the one little piece here and this, and the more I look, the more it's different. And Steve's like, oh yeah, they had multiple Falcons for different movies, because they basically made the first one, didn't know they'd reuse it, so had to rebuild it for the second movie, because it was such a hit. And I'm like, great, which one are we using? Like, hold on, let me get in the phone, we'll call LFL, find out what they want to do, and it's like, there's lots of little things that you can't know, and you might be the biggest Star Wars fan in the world, or work with him, and there are times where he's like, oh, I didn't know that either. Like, wow.
I am surprised.
Wow. And sometimes the licensors are kind of like, oh, wow, I didn't see that, or I'm unsure, or they'll play out, it's like, oh, we knew that. Why didn't you tell us that in the first place? Not to speak poorly of them, don't get me wrong. I mean, working with LFL has been phenomenal. They've done a great job helping us out, working with us to make sure we get best possible thing when there are inconsistencies in the fan lore and whatnot, and working with us to help figure those things out. So it's really sweet.
That's Fantastic. Well,
get to keep my job for another day.
Yeah, you avoided that one. You backtracked pretty fast.
I did. It was...
So the next thing I'm curious about is, what was the toughest part of designing the Star Destroyer? He didn't buy it at all. He wanted to. Look at that face. He really wanted to. No, I'm just kidding. Any other questions from you?
No, you got to rebound on this one.
Is everyone going to watch that and try to look for facial tics and for giveaways?
Well, you already mentioned Star Destroyer earlier, so they're going to go crazy over that.
So I think next time I do an interview, I'm going to wear sunglasses, like I'm playing, World Series of Poker, right? So you can see no tells whatsoever.
Stay in there.
I can see Star Destroyers all in those eyes. I can see it from here. One other thing I want to know, we kind of got to look into what you do. You said you're the producer for Star Wars, or just in, what is that?
Just specific for X-Wing.
For X-Wing?
Yeah.
So what does a typical day or week look like for you at Fantasy Flight?
What's typical? Yeah,
exactly.
Could you tell me what typical is?
Yeah, there we go. Well, actually, so I'm a managing game producer, which means I have 13 people that report to me. So I'm constantly helping them do their things. I mean, I work directly with James Niffen. He's the designer who did Wave 2 and Wave 3. And he actually was working on these ships as well. So I work with him and his team to do stuff. I have helped out with some of the Battle Lore stuff that we just announced. So I've got my hands kind of dabbled over everything.
Yeah.
But X-Wing is the thing I'm able to kind of plug away on the side.
Well, what's your favorite at this point that you're working on? What's your favorite project?
What's my favorite project that I'm working on at this point? Well, it has to be X-Wing.
Has to be X-Wing.
What's your favorite ship? Do you have a favorite ship?
Yeah, which are you most proud of?
Sorry to jump on your guys'
No,
interview.
you're good.
I'm curious.
Well, you have to wait and see.
Have to wait and see.
It's a new one, huh?
Yeah, I would say.
The ones they can see behind us, of those, which is your favorite?
Of those, I'm really proud of the Lambda-class shuttle.
Yeah, I love that. The wings coming down, by the way. Did you do
Excellent.
that? Did you design that ship?
He designed the ship.
We worked with our manufacturer to make that. We asked for it.
I talked to him and I said, guys, I'd really like to do this. Can we do this? And they said, yeah, that's no problem. So
that's the end of the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was so worried about breakage or some
well, and the packaging, right? Like it's got to be way easiasier.
Exactly. We don't want to waste space.
That's why we did it, really, just for the packaging.
You saved a lot of money there. You really did. Kudos to you guys. You earned your salary. Well, that's it. I mean, if there's anything else you guys want to let the fans of X-Wing know, I mean, I get every time I play it, and people that play it or don't play it see it. It's how beautiful the models are, how great it looks, how much it feels like you're playing X-Wing. So, or you're flying the ship. Tons of compliments that I've heard. Is there anything you want to say to the fans?
That's awesome to hear. I love that. All I've got to say is thank you. I mean, if it wasn't for people playing this game and loving it so much and making the demand through the roof and just blowing us away and completely wrecking our expectations for this, without them, there would be no game, Like if they stopped playing tomorrow, we'd stop making it tomorrow. It's as simple as that. As long as the fans keep picking up and playing it and loving it, I get to keep making more cool ships. So please, and thank you.
Keep buying.
Absolutely.
Keep going. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Keep it rolling.
Awesome.
And I'm getting an expensive drug habit, so.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on camera. And
hope you can use some of that.
We'll use all of it. And we'll be doing more reviews of Fantasy Flight, so check out our videos.